Hey everybody, welcome to the CATS Chiropractic Consultants Casey ChiroPulse podcast, excuse me. This podcast is intended to help you doctors out there keep your pulse on the chiropractic industry, and be sure to join our Facebook page for updates on nearly a daily basis from us. It's Casey ChiroPulse on Facebook. So make sure you join us there and join us here each and every week where Dr. Troy and I will debate something, we'll roll over something and chew it up as best we can. So, Dr. Troy, tell me, what are we going to dive into today? I got my sleeves all rolled up. I'm ready to go.
You're going to need them rolled up today. So I got an email asking about marketing, and this is something that you and I have discussed many times over.
Uh-oh, I know where we're going.
Oh, yeah. So this person was, obviously trying to get more promotion for their practice, more exposure, and bring new patients in. And they said, what do you think about this thing that I've seen all over the internet? So obviously it must work because it's on the internet, right? The $9 new patient special. So
one of my favorite topics.
Oh gosh, so that's our topic for today. Is let's talk about the $9 new patient special. And right off the bat, I just want to know, temperature wise, where are you at on this?
Well, it's funny you bring this up today because you and I talked about this a few weeks ago, and I actually made some notes because I thought this would make a great webinar or seminar at some point. So I'm going to grab my notes.
There you
because
go.
I wrote down a couple interesting things. And so after you and I discussed this, I found this quote. It's by Howard Schultz. He's a famous business economist. And he said, cutting prices or putting things on sale is not a sustainable business strategy. I want you to lock on to sustainable. It's not a sustainable business strategy. The other side of it is that you can never cut enough cost to save your way to prosperity. Wow. I mean, that's what you're doing with the $9 deal. You're trying to funnel, and I get it. In your mind, you're thinking, wow, I'll just try to get as many people in here as I possibly can. But invariably, what do we see with these practices? They're coming in the front door, and about as fast they're going out the back door.
Yeah, if they even make it to the back, they may only make it to the side door.
Right.
And we're all of the same mindset as doctors in general, or anybody that owns their own business. You want them to pay, you want them to stay, and you want them to refer friends in.
Yeah.
And really, we're not doing any of that with this $9 special.
No. And you have to think about, I think sometimes chiropractors get it in their mind that our businesses run differently than other businesses. Mm-hmm. And I got news for you. They don't. The same business principles that make the retail store down the street or the restaurant on the other corner of town what makes them successful are the same principles that are going to make you successful. And when you just start pouring a bunch of freebies in there, you're actually hurting your business.
Right. I love the phrase that we hear often when we're talking to folks and we're going, hey, that may not be a great idea for your practice, or you should do this in your practice. Here's my favorite phrase: that won't work in my practice.
Yeah. Or that won't work in my town.
Yeah. Or in my town. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'm here to tell you it will. And you have to remember that your marketing and putting yourself out in the community, I don't care if you're putting out a promotion or just a social media post, or you're talking about some great research article you read on headaches or something. Mm-hmm. You create a ripple in the marketplace every time you put something out. And that ripple is long lasting. In other words, for every action that we create, there's a reaction that comes back. And when you slash your prices by lowering them down to, I don't care if it's a $49 deal or a $29 deal, or, you and I've seen these $9 deals. Mm-hmm. Every time you do that, the ripple you put out in the marketplace is that your services are low end. They're not high quality. They're not potentially good outcomes. And you're actually training people that your reputation in the community, that the reputation of your care and your services is actually poor because you've got a poor price. So we've got to get out of this idea of thinking small.
Yeah, you think about that, and really a good example to use is the really cheesy commercials you see on TV for the used car dealerships. And they're
Yeah,
like, yeah, no payments, no interest, no this, no that for the rest of 2020 and all of 2021. Well, we're all smart enough to realize eventually we had to pay for that car. It's not free, right?
right, right.
So we know, we're smart enough to know that somewhere there's a back end on this thing. And as a big dealership, as the Chevy or Ford dealership, I may give promotions, but at the same time, I'm still valuing, I still know that when I go into the dealership, I'm paying full tilt for service. I'm doing all that stuff. And so sometimes there is an occasion at a year end or a certain time of the year that we may want to offer something, maybe an anniversary of our practice to patients, but not the every month, hey, let me come up with this new gimmick of how I'm going to reduce my prices because that's the only way I can get people in my door. And that really probably leads us into a term called poverty complex, right?
It does, yeah.
Oh
It,
man.
it absolutely does, and that's probably a whole new topic for another day.
Yeah.
But poverty complex is almost always involved when you see somebody deep discounting their services. And like you said, there are times to do it and there are times not.
Hmm.
If you're trying to doing it month in and month out, that's going to hurt you in the long run. If you're doing something around the holidays or something just to give back to the community, and you're doing a discounted promotion to drive a charitable based event, that's something totally different. That's community service. That's giving back. But what you've got to remember is that your reputation is worn on your sleeve all the time, and you need to be putting out a reputation of high quality service and good outcomes for patients, and not connecting yourself to these low quality promotions. And the other issue that arises is you create what I call the cable company effect. And what's the cable company effect? I mean, how many of us have cable services and you sign up for this great deal and they lock you into this 12 or 18 or 24-month program, and everything's great until 6 months later you see the cable company offering another promotion like free HBO or something, and you call them up because you want to get that free HBO, and what do they tell you? Nah, we've already got you locked in, so we're good to go. So we don't want to create that cable company effect on our patients, because what happens is if you give a discount along the way and your current patients see that discount, they feel like you've overcharged them. And that's that cable company effect. So we want to make sure that we're creating long-term patient relationships. And unfortunately, the $9 promo just doesn't help you do that.
Yeah, it's really a vicious cycle that you create as well, and we've talked a little bit about this. But once you set that precedent and you do it multiple times in your community, you have patients that go, "Oh yeah, this is the $9 guy," And I mean
Yeah.
literally, if you don't think that that's how people talk about you, ask people in your community, how am I referred to? Because I know that there's folks in different communities that offer those different promotions or a certain price for an adjustment, no matter. And they go, everyone else is billing to insurance, and and then they go, oh, he's the $15 guy, you know.
Yeah.
And so there's definitely a stigma that's associated with that. And guess what? Then people are unwilling to pay a higher price. You have to retrain everyone at that point if you want to make change.
Yeah, because that's a reputation you've created. So you've created this
Hmm.
low quality, low price reputation that's super hard to dig yourself out of. And you're hurting your relationship with your longer term patients. And then there's this third issue that arises, and that's that you're driving the marketplace and the pricing of the marketplace, and you're actually forcing sometimes your competition to lower their prices. And now when everybody starts lowering their prices, what happens? Nobody gets new patients. You just dilute the
Yeah.
market, and all of a sudden the deal is gone, and you've made the $9 promotion no longer a promotion. It's the usual and customary deal in the marketplace. And let me ask you this: what's it cost to have somebody start as a new patient with you? What's your overhead associated with that new patient? You've got, I mean,
Hmm.
let's look at the list. You've got staff, you've got rent, you've got utilities, you've got salaries, you've got all these things associated with every patient visit. So how much does it cost you to bring that new patient in the door? And we've said this for years, that when you're marketing, which every business should be on some level, when you're marketing, it probably takes 2 to 3 visits just to get a regular patient, not on a promotion, to be profitable. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
throwing the $9 or $19, I don't care what nine you put on it, if you're doing the cheap promotion, you're if that patient doesn't stay in care for quite a while, guess what? You're losing money. And that goes back to the poverty complex you were talking about just a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, and the other topic that you talked about, which is the inadvertent, unintended consequence that you
yeah,
hurt your whole profession. I don't think anybody sets out to hurt their whole profession by doing that, but we're seeing on a corporate level, and I won't name any names of companies that are doing this, but they're promoting that type of thing from a corporate chiropractic standpoint. And
yeah,
I think that we as chiropractors should be inflamed, at least, if not just flat out angry, that somebody has come into our domain as doctors and cheapened the Kool-Aid at this point, or cheapened the product.
yeah,
As a result, we didn't have any choice. They just came in and said, you know what, we're going to cheapen chiropractic across the board. We're going to make this consumer friendly Walmart it as it may be. And the unintended consequence is that it has hurt all chiropractors. And now we have to take a stand and say, you know what, the product I provide, the service I provide is valuable. I'm valuable. And as a result, there has to be an associated cost with that. And like you said, then you don't end up in a situation where you're actually behind the 8 ball and you actually lose money on a patient because they came in and got exam, x-rays, or report, an adjustment, a massage, some therapy, all for $9 or whatever you're giving away. I
yeah,
mean, if you're giving all that away for $9, just email me and I'll fly in tomorrow. And because I could probably get a plane ticket for less than what you're getting. I mean, you're giving away several $100s worth of services. It's crazy.
oh
I
yeah,
mean, I value you guys a ton. I love you guys as chiropractors, and I want you guys to get paid for what you do.
yeah, exactly. And for you to be profitable. And that's what we teach our clients in CATS Consultants. We teach our clients how to run a long-term sustainable practice that brings the profitability that's associated with being a doctor. You deserve it. You don't deserve to lose money. You're not a not-for-profit. So why not create a for-profit business? You don't have to give away your services to do that. And when you do those $9 deals and you think about, okay, I want you to come in for $9, and I'm telling you out there, folks, that Troy and I have seen the $9 deal that he was just talking about, where
Yeah.
you get the consultation, you get the exam, you get the X-rays, you get the adjustment, you get the report of findings, you get, I don't know how you do all that on the first day, number one,
Right.
and you get a 30 or 40-minute massage on top of that. And then you're expecting the patient to come back the next day and hear about a $1,500 or $2,000 treatment plan. Talk about sticker shock. And this is why so many of those patients jettison out the side door or
Right.
the back door so fast, and they leave your practice way before you ever become profitable. So what do you have to do? If if you bring a patient in for $9 and it costs you $59 to have them there, and it probably costs you more than that, what happened? You just lost $50 if that patient leaves after the first day. And now, how many more $9 new patients do you have to see to make up for that $50 you lost? You're so far behind, you'll never catch up. And it's funny, in the investment world, we call that a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what a Ponzi scheme is, Google it.
I was just
Because,
going to say
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say that's very Ponzi-ish. And I was just going to say, I see it as unethical because you really know that you're drawing that patient in with the fact that you're gonna bring them into the fly trap, and then at that point you're going to present to them this expensive care that you're offering, because nobody offers $9 worth of care with $500 worth of free product
Right.
unless they're, it's like a vehicle. If they're going to give you $5,000 off on a vehicle, they're going to charge you a whole bunch for that vehicle.
Right.
And so we all know that scheme. And I don't expect my patients to know that. I don't want to have to say, well, gee, you already know this game, so let's do the $9 deal, and then when you get here, I'm going to offer $1,500 worth of care. How
Yeah.
about I'm just honest up front and say, I provide a quality service, and here's the care I provide, and here's the cost.
Yeah, exactly. So I just pulled out my calculator. Yes, I have an old financial calculator, but I just want to do an example here just for a second, just to illustrate this. So I don't know what the number was I used just a minute ago, but let's say it costs you $55 to process a new patient, and you bring them in for $9. Okay, so we're losing we're, lo- we're losing $46. All right, that math was
Mm-hmm.
easy. The average chiropractor sees about 20 new patients a month. Okay, now you can easily be seeing way more than that, but that's another story. But let's just use the average. Okay, so $20, 46. We're losing $920 on every month on our new patients. What is that a year? That's $11,000 a year we're losing, and that's only if we're seeing 20 new patients a month. Holy cow! How many of you? I don't want to lose $11,000 in my clinic on my new patients. How about you, Troy? No, that's
No, that's
crazy.
two vacations. That's two vacations to somewhere really nice for
Yeah,
$11,000.
yeah. Now think about how many new patients you have to see to make up for the loss of that $920 a month. You have to see a lot. I mean, that's for a
Mm-hmm.
lot of clinics. That's a whole treatment plan. So that's where the Ponzi scheme comes
Yeah.
in. You got to keep bringing in new patients just to make up for the losses that you're letting out the back door. How about bringing in less new patients,
Mm-hmm.
charging your real price, creating a better reputation in the marketplace, not losing money, and I promise you, you can see half as many new patients and make more than what you are doing the promotion. So that's where the Ponzi scheme comes in. And I know some of you out there are probably thinking, well, that $920, I just chalked that up to a marketing fee. Holy cow, that's quite a marketing budget, because you don't need to be spending $920 a month on marketing, not in today's world, because marketing is so simple today. And
Mm-hmm.
again, a topic for another podcast, but
Yeah.
while it might be true on the surface that that's what you're spending on your marketing, I want you to think about how you actually may be negatively impacting your practice along the way. The reality is that every single patient that drops out of care, every single patient that drops out of care, whether they had a bad experience or not, is going to make up a story, at least in their own mind, about why they dropped out of care. Oh, it was too expensive. Oh, we just weren't getting the outcomes. Oh, he wanted me to come too many times. Oh, a sticker shock between the $9 deal and the $1,900 treatment plan. I didn't think I needed all that much care. Nothing got it. There's a bazillion excuses that patients make up in their mind. And here's the crazy thing: when they leave your office, when they quit you, guess what? Are they out in the marketplace saying great things about you? Probably not. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
most of the gurus of marketing say when somebody leaves your business in a negative manner, they go out and they tell 10 other people about it. Okay, so you didn't just lose one, you lost 11. You lost 11 potential patients. And if you practice in a small town or a small community, and I don't care if you live in a big city, you still practice in a small microcosm, no matter what
Mm-hmm.
it is. It may be a 3-mile radius, or Troy, you and I practice in small towns, and so our
Right.
radius is bigger, but everybody's going to hear those negative comments. Somebody in town is going to hear those negative comments at some point. And what did you do? Once again, all you did was hurt your reputation. Your
Mm-hmm.
reputation's all you've got. Your reputation is your key to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Now, here's the good news. you can improve your reputation. It just may be painful and take a little bit of time,
Yeah.
especially in the day and age of Facebook, where you may have gotten some negative reviews or somebody said, yeah, the old, Ponzi scheme or whatever, I mean, people put some really negative, nasty things on Facebook sometimes when they're
Yeah.
angry with you. So you can improve your image, but it may take time and some effort. But I will guarantee you that if you go about this from a standpoint of, say, from a standpoint of what I see from a lot of cash medical practices, which is a really good litmus test, is my practice doing what it should be? Cash medical practices don't flinch when they tell you the price. They assume that you're going to schedule, and the next thing they're asking is, would you like to know what dates we have available? And so when you look at that from a chiropractic standpoint, those are the things that we should be looking at. I value my services. I'm not going to discount my services. And what day, what time would you like to schedule?
Yeah.
And that's really how we have to change our thinking, is just, let's get away from that altogether. And you will panic and want to go back to that. Trust me. I've seen docs that after a couple of months, their new patient numbers are a little lower. But here's another thing that we teach you in CATS, which that's another topic for another day again, how to get longevity out of your practice and quit chasing new patients. Because you know what? That is a scary proposition, to have 40 new patients a month just to make sure that you're meeting the bills, because they're not following through with care. They're just there for a few visits, and you've just got these flashes instead of long-term wellness patients. So
Yeah.
really chasing your tail.
You are chasing your tail. And like we've talked about many times, the new patient model of chiropractic business management is old and it's outdated and it does not work anymore, especially when you take into consideration the changes in consumer buying habits and consumer buying mentality since COVID hit, since we're in this pandemic. It's totally changed. And this is where you need a good business coach that has real fundamental experience that can help you through these times. Because like most of the business gurus today suggest, that after this pandemic, the the changes we're going to see in business is going to come faster and faster and faster. And you're going to have to be ready to react. And you've got to have somebody in your court helping you. And I don't mean somebody that can teach you a marketing trick or a gimmick or put the wavy guy out in front of the office to attract people in. You need somebody helping you that has real consulting experience, has a real pedigree and a track record, not only in chiropractic, but also in real business, that can help you with the nuts and bolts consulting of building your business and creating a sustainable model.
Hold on a minute.
I think I got on my soapbox for a minute.
Yeah. Are you telling me that I am not going to be able to go back to practice the way I practiced in 2019 once this thing is over?
You can, but good luck.
Oh, man. Because that's kind of what I was hoping for. That's what a lot of docs are hoping for. And that's another topic we probably need to discuss another day. But man, you are not going back where you came from. You're going to have to move forward, and you're going to have to move with the times. And there's a lot of really good research out there right now showing us where trends are going. But a lot of people are ignoring them because they want to go back to where they were.
Yeah. No. And we as a profession, I think, sometimes have a tendency to think that once we get our processes and procedures and a strategy in place, that we can just roll with that for decades. And business just doesn't work like that. And going forward, you're going to need a consulting group in your corner that can continually innovate new ways to recreate and analyze new and emerging market trends and create strategy for you. You need somebody that's going to help you build ethical marketing practices, somebody that's going to help you build, and I'm going to go back to this word again. We've said it all throughout the podcast. You've got to create a sustainable business model, and it's going to constantly change. And today's strategy is just way different than it was, well, even 9 months ago, even 12 months ago. It's just changed. And we're not going back. So it's going to continue to change.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing, is it has changed that much, because when we look at our procedures and we look at how we're talking with clients, and the things that we do, those have even changed over the last year because we're constantly evolving, as is the business model at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So here's my suggestion. Be careful with the constant barrage of promotions because, and let's review these things, it hurts your reputation in your community. It hurts your reputation with your long-term patients. You're negatively impacting the marketplace for chiropractic just in general. And you're creating this crazy Ponzi scheme on yourself. And quite frankly, to people in your community who are savvy business people, I'll be honest, you look like you just don't know what else to do. So let's put on the smart business hat and let's do things the right way and work to create a marketing strategy and a sustainability model that'll carry your practice into profitability way into the future. Way into the future. You know, Walt Disney said something really, really great. He said, do what you do and do it well so that people will want to come over and over again and bring their family and friends. Now, I'm paraphrasing it, but you get the idea. It's not about price. My gosh, if you go to Disney, it's not about price. It's about the experience.
Mm-hmm.
And the chiropractic clinic is the exact same way. It's not about price. It's about you. And it's about the kind of business, the kind of reputation, and the kind of ripple you put into your marketplace. So probably another topic, Troy.
Oh yeah. Well, you laid it all on the line today about the special, and I really think that that's important information that we need to know. And I think there are a couple things that we talked about with the unintended consequences that
Yeah.
people don't realize when they're doing that. So I think this was a great topic today. It's a good chiropractic topic for all of us to think about.
Yeah, it absolutely is. So, all right, everybody, I think we beat that rabbit to death. So if you have any thoughts or questions, connect with us on Facebook. It's Casey ChiroPulse. Connect with us on Facebook. You can talk to Troy and I and the rest of the team, Patrick and Marissa, and even Dr. Katz. So join us on that. And I want to thank you all for being here. Troy, thanks for being here. It's good to see you today. So this is Mike Perusich and Troy Fox with Katz Chiropractic Consultants bringing you the Casey ChiroPulse podcast for this week. Everybody, have a great day. We'll see you next time.
See ya.